action, we in action. Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Roberson, aka Professor Joe of both King Talk Podcast and the Professor Joe Show. And you are currently listening to King Talk, our unapologetic and transparent discussion. You laughing at me, man? No, you laughing at me? I can't have the Professor Joe Show? Dang. Hey, our unapologetic and transparent discussion on any and all issues related to youth sports. If there's something you would like to hear discussed, feel free to drop us a line, shoot us a DM, and let us know on IG at King Talk Podcast. That's King Talk Podcast, one word on IG. You can also find us on Facebook at King Talk Podcast and on iHeartRadio as well as Spotify. Today, first of all, man, why are you laughing at me though, man? I'm emotionally sensitive as I get older, man.
Man, you know, look, I laugh at everything.
Okay, because you're enjoying life?
I'm just enjoying life, man, you know.
Yeah, and you always have though, and that's a positive thing. And that being said, as we get into the journey, I'm sure there were some moments here that were enjoyable but difficult. And so, we'll touch on some of those things. But today, I am blessed to have with me Antonio Flowers and Elijah Shuler, two former graduates of Los Angeles Pierce College, who both had the blessing of moving forward to compete at universities. Antonio, can I ask you first, where did you go when you left Pierce?
I went to Kentucky Wesleyan College.
Okay, and that was a blessing, huh, to move forward. Hey, I got to ask you one question right now, and then we'll get into everything else. Did you walk away with that piece of paper?
Always, but not from there.
Wow, okay, that's deep, so you're going to have to break that down to us. Okay, and Elijah, where did you go upon leaving Pierce?
I went to the University of Cincinnati.
Okay, and he sounded like he liked saying that too. You almost had that Saturday voice on, when you watching the games and they announce what schools they from.
Exactly.
It sounded like you had practice with that.
I practiced it.
Okay, that's what's up.
I was ready to say
That's what's up. Hey, first I want to tell you this, my brother. I admire both of you, respect you. I've watched your journeys, and I just need you to know that, because, again, I've always had that level of regard for you both, right? But it's nice to see you as men in the world, once as young men, now as men progressing forward, and to be able to express to you my regard for y'all as men and watching the journey you went through, because it's really a difficult one, and not everyone is going to make it through. And that's unfortunate, because it'd be nice if everybody would, but I mean just making it through this institution successfully. I mean matriculating to a university successfully. I mean having a successful journey there. And success can be vague in terms of, success is how we define it as individuals. So what's successful for one person might be different for another person. But I think the hope's minimal from my perspective for student athletes who live this journey. I would hope they get the benefits of walking away with the piece of paper, and I'd also like to attach to that minimal debt with that piece of paper. Right. Antonio, thank you too, my brother, because I'm humbled because you told me like, hey, I want to come participate and I want to do this, and I have something to share, and that touched me because, that's real life. Like, okay, I appreciate that because I have enough respect and regard for how important time is that for my king to want to come back and share. Exactly. That meant the world to me. And then when he told me, he's like, I got a surprise for you. And he said he was bringing you, Elijah. No, that touched my heart, my brother, because real life is, as men, we're all busy. We have lives. And so a lot of times, man, I got other stuff I could be doing with my time. That's all of us.
I just feel like the stars aligned because I just decided randomly to come out here. Mm-hmm. Hit Antonio up, and all you had to do was mention your name. Okay. Say you were doing a podcast. Right. Show support, and that's all I need to do.
I appreciate you, my king. I have to. Hey, I don't even need to ask a bunch of leading questions. You had something you wanted to share, and you had a journey, and I'd like both of y'all to take the opportunity to share some details of your journey that you think would be meaningful for young people to hear, for their parents to hear. If you'd share, you can start where you want to start, man.
Well, in high school, man, didn't take anything serious. Class clown. Still a clown in terms of just acting, being myself, acting funny, man, and came out to California, but I first had to stop at Lewisburg College for a semester. Okay. And I went to College of the Canes, that's where I met Elijah, and then I ended up at Pierce. Right. So, a bunch of stops along the way. Ended up at Pierce fall 2011, stayed until July 2015.
Okay.
So about 4 years.
I respect that. You turned it into a university state.
Turned it in turned a 2-year into a 4-year, man, and a lot of growth transpired from then. And graduated high school in 2010, so 5 years at the JUCO level.
And as his roommate, I'll be the first one to say there's definitely growth. Compared to when we were both out here living with each other, attending these classes, making sure our academics was right. That's when it's growing up. That maturing process takes longer for some people.
Right. Real life.
You can't just come out of high school, 18 years old, and live in California with none of your family out here.
Yeah.
Not that much support, not that much money, and just try to survive out here is really what you're trying to do. And then there's distractions of being in California, place where we are, and it was tough for all of us to try to stay focused and grind through and get to the classes. Luckily, when I came to junior college here at Pierce, I already had a year in college.
Right.
So I kind of already a little bit went through that maturing process. I was a little bit older, being a sophomore coming here at first. But
where'd you come from too? Where were you at before?
I actually started right out of high school. I went to D3 school.
Okay.
Called Mount Ida College. The only reason why I went there is because they gave me a little, some assistant money to get in there. It's very expensive. That's where most of my student loan debt actually comes from today. Comes from there. But I saw it as a waste of my talents.
Wow.
So I decided to go to LA Pierce route or the JUCO route. First I went to the COC, College of the Canyons, with Antonio. And he...
Oh, so that's really where y'all met?
Yeah. We met and I actually followed him here. Okay. We met each other there actually before I was even allowed to come out here to California. My mom had to talk to his mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's real life. Hey, watch this. And that's what people should do.
Yeah, exactly.
My parents should check in, because the first thing I caught that you said, and I appreciate it, is this. Because I feel that same way. I want all people, all humans to have opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. But all opportunities are not the right opportunity. So some parents send their kids across the country to come here and don't realize what you're sending them to, where, like, if your child is not self-motivated, and let me say, I'm 47, so all young people, I have children your age, right? But young adults, right? If your young adult isn't prepared to come be self-motivated to get up and go to class, because this ain't high school, ain't no truancy officers calling to make sure you go to class. So if your student athlete don't want to make sure they go to class, and there's no professors don't walk up to you to nag you to submit your assignments, or some students think, like, because in high school they might let you not submit all your work the whole year, and then the last 2 weeks of school, like, hey, you failed, you about to flunk out because you didn't submit all these assignments, and they let you submit them all. That don't work in college. So some people are just not prepared to come out here, and so that's one thing that parents could do more effectively, is really prepare your child, your again young adult at this point, for what it means to be able to function on their own without needing to be micromanaged to get up. And so where were you raised? Can I ask you what state? Like, where?
I'm from Connecticut.
So you're from Connecticut, and then?
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to Raleigh, man.
Shout out to Raleigh.
Shout out to Raleigh, man. You already know.
Hey, that's important though, because you really had to come out here. Me being from upstate New York, from Buffalo, but some people don't understand the culture of California. And again, we're talking about anywhere you go could be a distraction, but you come to Cali, you can lose your focus real quick. You can lose your focus real quick. So now, one school before you got here, or two before you got here. So continue on with what you're sharing. Talk to me, man.
So with that, when I was going through College of the Canyons, man, I really lost my focus. I needed a new start.
Right.
Other things transpired I'm not going to get into. But,
right.
If you remember that, Elijah, you remember what I'm not going to say it, but I needed a fresh new start. And Coach Dose, man, not just only him. I had gotten into some trouble. I got in trouble for something I didn't do.
Okay.
For something I didn't do, and
someone that he was actually living with.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put him in a bad situation.
Right.
Mistaken identity, and I guess all big black guys look alike.
Hey, because y'all look like twins. If I
can. No, brothers though, man.
Hey, no, but watch this though. I hear that especially when you talk about the implications of geographic location.
Yeah.
Right? So people need to understand that.
That's the thing.
When you go to certain schools.
We got out of my personal reason for getting out of Santa Clarita.
Okay.
It was
right.
The demographic.
And watch this. So let me say this. I think it is a beautiful environment out there and beautiful campus.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that is just a reality, even if it's difficult for some people to accept, that we're not always going to receive the same welcome. Diversity is not, especially then, at that time, might not have been as readily accepted, and we might not all be valued in certain environments. And even if people are not consciously, that's what sometimes people miss in this world. I don't think the statement is that everywhere you go, people are always consciously racist or consciously have negative feelings towards a certain community. But on a very subconscious level, if people aren't culturally aware, y'all look alike. Oh boy. So guess what? So I can hold you accountable for what someone else did. Then you take our cultural value system where, dang, I want to protect myself, but I ain't supposed to give indication that it could be someone else and put them in, because there's this misapplication of this no snitching thought process. Yeah, that could put us in difficult situations. So that being said, you were uncomfortable there, so you decided it was ready. It was time to move forward, and that's when you arrived here.
Arrived at Pearson. Shout out to my cousin, man. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Rod, he heard about Pearson. We had took a trip up here, and spoken to Coach Greenwood. He was there. Coach Martinez. So shout out to them too. And
Ty Greenwood, what's up? What's up?
Shout out
he
to
had
Greenwood,
that pitch,
man.
He talked to me on that phone.
Yeah.
Shout out to Greenwood, man.
But he said what he meant what he said, and he delivered on it.
Yeah.
He delivered on it. And also, he didn't get people out here and then leave them with no guidance and supervision.
Everything.
But he was on people. He was on people. You got what I'm saying? He was on people in the sense of...
we had private workouts, the whole shebang, man.
So he
make sure we were doing what we needed to do to make sure we get to that
and
next
he
step.
Would be on your neck if he was messing up.
I just seen Greenwood, man. I went home in July, I believe, and he's the DB coach at North Carolina Central.
Right.
Same area where I'm from, and it's just crazy how, that the whole path just comes back. And I saw him out there. Went to a little club together.
Okay. It's nice to go somewhere with your coach later on. Now,
crazy.
Can I clarify something just because we're saying it on air and you never know, right? Is this. So he directed you to local facilities where they would welcome you in to get an apartment. Because we want to be careful of how we say that. Because if people perceive he was getting people right, then that's a shady gray area.
Using our own credit for stuff, he actually, navigated with our mothers, and our parents. There was a lot of communication with it, and honestly,
had to put up a bunch of money to get that place.
Hey, but and that's why it's important. Because it does cost financial resources, especially when you go somewhere and have to live as a non-resident or out-of-state student and pay absorbent tuition. So if you can walk away from here with scholarship opportunities to fund the rest of your education and also have the backing of these institutions, these powerful institutions, because it means something to walk away with a degree from your institution. It means something to walk away with a degree from your institution. You can have some pride and it can open some doors. But when people do all this and assume levels of debt, but don't at least walk away with a piece of paper, that's not really an equitable exchange.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I want to get at those two. So we've already been to two institutions. We're already coming all the way from out of state, right? Which it automatically is going to incur some level of debt. And you got here, and so it seems like you'd be on the he's on the focused path. But you still said you had to come here and do some other growing because you were still here for a 4-year period.
Exactly. It was just, I'm a country kid. I'm coming from Raleigh, North Carolina, and first time flying. I come out here and I see palm trees, beautiful women, and I just lost my mind.
Yeah, because that's out here.
I literally lost my mind.
That's out here. Palm trees is out here.
Yeah.
The palm trees is definitely out here.
Yeah.
And I'm from the country, man. My granddaddy got chickens, he got cows, he grows his own vegetables. And, we got land back there. So I'm coming from, the trees and the forest and a bunch of green to palm trees, Hollywood here, beaches are here, and
right.
a bunch of lights. And I just got distracted, man. I'm not even going to lie. And I did everything but school.
Right, real life,
Literally, I did everything but school. My mind was on everything but school, and it really, honestly, what changed for me was shout out to Elijah, man. Elijah and Austin Stewart, man. When they went D1, they were living with me, going through the same struggles as me. They went D1. I'm all alone, man. It really hurt me, man. And then they on TV playing. Yeah. Elijah got
us. Being honest too.
Yeah, man. It really.
Hey, he said.
Yeah.
Most men, emotionally, we're not intelligent. We haven't been taught to identify with our emotions.
Right.
Thank you for saying. Like I said, it hurt me.
It hurt.
It hurt.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
It hurt.
Yeah.
And then, but watch this. But what I hear too is this: use that hurt to motivate you.
Oh yeah.
Instead of using that hurt to make you resent someone else for the opportunities that he earned for himself.
Never.
That's powerful, my brother. That's powerful. That's a message people should walk away with.
Exactly, man. And shout out to Austin too. He's in Charlotte, man. He's my other North Carolina brother, man. He's in Charlotte. He got a 4 out at Texas Tech, and when them two left, man, I was all alone. They were struggling, and then Elijah got a sack against Pitt. And on TV, man, I was like, dang, he balling out. Everybody calling me.
Yeah.
You see your boy, you see your boy. And I was just like, dang, man, I got to get to it.
Yeah, real life.
I got to get to it, man, because, you know, this opportunity waits for no man.
Right.
You know, time is ticking. That time is everything.
It really is.
Time goes by fast.
What? Not as fast as that NCAA clock.
You ain't lying.
Do that, and once that clock start, you on the clock. You on the clock.
That's huge. That NCAA clock is no joke.
I never started mine as early as I did.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
Couple gray shirts, maybe one red shirt.
Hey, but I hope even though we're just having dialogue, people really hear you, because more people than a few could increase the probability of their level of achievement accomplishment by doing things like gray shirting for a year, whether it's to get their body right, whether it's to develop the discipline, get your mind right. You feel me? So that once their clock does start, they can really produce that. Some people need to get their academic feet up under them and just spend a year working out and working on your academics, getting through those gateway courses of English and math. So what you said is so powerful, but this is one of the difficulties. When you're young, it's difficult to be patient. And for parents, one of the pressures we feel as parents is, I have to get my kid through the success. So, okay, school, I can't prolong this. I gotta get them through, I gotta push them through. Where no, sometimes it might slow down. I think it was John Wooden, I can't remember for sure, but his statement was, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, when are you gonna have time to do it over or do it again? And I strongly believe in that you have to, it's really about the journey. And so you got to take your time to live this journey the right way. So I hope people really hear what you just said about how key that is. If people are willing to gray shirt, right? Or just at least take their time to do it right. Because that clock, once it begins,
don't stop.
Yeah, and it's gone.
For me, it probably started even in high school. I went to a really small high school in Connecticut, North Brentford High School. My graduating class, probably 140 people in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to like North Carolina school or California school like Taft and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But so there was no exposure for me really. UConn had a local schools like that, but my experience for me where I really turned it around and really realized that academics was very important and you need it for the whole process is in my senior year, I was in my coach's office just talking to him at the time when UConn actually called him and he had him on speaker because he knew it was the coach. And he asked for my GPA at the time, and my GPA at the time was a 1.42.
Wow.
We hung up the phone right there.
Because there was more there to talk about.
He wasn't really too interested
to
hear, why is it 1.42?
Right.
It's not that I was a dumb kid. I scored a 1,200 on my SATs.
Okay.
But I just wasn't asserting myself. I was the only black kid and only black male in my grade. So, I was distracted, just being a job, being that athlete in the school, taking care of one way, but not really taking care of me how I should be taken care of, which is making sure that my grades are right.
And not really understanding the bigger implications of your situation.
Right.
And I think I won't beg to go on discussion right now, but some people would be unaware of, well, how does him being in an environment where he's underrepresented, what in the world does that have to do with academic outcomes? But there are implications.
Well, people think about how you feel about your children. I didn't look like their children, or you know, honestly, just that if a teacher's a parent and they're thinking about their own child.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
They want their child to succeed,
Right.
and they want their child friends that look like their child friends to succeed.
Right.
And it's not like you said, it's consciously.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
unconsciously,
Right.
where they'll let you just slip underneath.
Right.
And just
Right.
just be good enough to be eligible,
And it might,
stuff like that.
again, on a subconscious level, it might not even be any malicious or negative intent. It might just be that I believe stereotypes about your community and your ability, so I think I'm doing you a favor letting you slide, because I don't know if you're capable of doing any better, so why would I hold you to a standard of doing better? So what some people don't realize, it's not even always with malintent. It's not always negative. Even at this level, their students, so you remember I teach the introduction to college class for athletes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most ironic thing. You would think more young men run to take my class because I'm coming from a similar background and I can help share with you what it takes to be successful in terms of achievement in this environment and moving forward. But a lot don't, because I'm also not easy manipulated, but from, okay, well, this is my struggle. Okay, I respect it. I've been through a similar struggle, but what you're gonna do is get graded based on whether you submit these assignments or not. And part of the reason is because that's going to be the standard you have to meet to get through this institution and the next institution, and that's the standard you're going to meet in the secular workforce as well, or whether you choose to own your own business, whatever that may be. At the end of the day, there's a standard to be met, and you expect the consistency of that standard applied when it's you trying to make it in this world. I use football as an example. I always ask student athletes, how would you feel if it's 4th down and you're a linebacker and there's this running back who, it's 4th down, they're on the goal line, and they hand the ball off, he tries to run through the A-gap, but then the middle linebacker smacks him. So he back up and try to stretch it along the outside, but then you go out there, you hawk him down, you make the tackle, he reaches out to stretch the ball over the goal line, but then you yank him back so it doesn't get there. I was like, so now everybody running on the field because it was the last play as if y'all won. But then all of a sudden the ref looks at everyone for a second and then puts his hands up and gives a signal for being a touchdown. And he was like, hey, he never broke the plane of the goal line with the ball. But then the ref look at you and be like, yeah, but he tried so hard. You saw how, you would look at him like, yeah, but that's not the standard by which we determine that. The standard is if the ball breaks. So, and I just use that example to say there is something to be said for working hard, but at the same time, there's standards to meet. And at the end of the day, we have to meet those standards to get where we want to go, right? You want to be at a Division I school now, coming from a community college, you better have a 2.5 GPA, and you can use no more than 2 kinesiology units towards that, So anyway, there's standards, though. So again, man, get back to, for me, the 4-year stay at the community college. What was you doing? You just wanted to kick it with Mr. Rowe?
Man, I was just going to parties, man, and a lot of that transpired when I was at CLC, because that's all really there is to do in Santa Clarita, Valencia. That's where I really had
that culture. Yeah.
Soon as Thursday hit, it was a checkpoint right in front of our apartments, because that's what we did. It was party.
Oh wow!
And that's all I really did, man. But really, what it was is, when we're young, I'm fresh 18, coming from North Carolina, country boy, and you don't understand how precious time is and how mature you need to be to take advantage of your opportunities.
Yeah. Time is a precious resource, a
yeah.
commodity.
And I still can't believe I'm 27. Still can't believe it.
Yeah.
So,
and I can't believe I'm 47.
Exactly. That's 9 years ago.
Wow.
And when you look at it, everything could have been different if I was mature enough to realize how blessed I was to be here. And that's the main reason why I couldn't go to Hawaii, man, because when you don't take advantage of going to class and things of that sort, me being a class short, when I was partying, I could have did that class. I could have been to Hawaii
easily.
So sometimes you dig yourself in a hole so deep. No matter what you do from that time, trying to make it up.
Right.
Doesn't even matter.
Yes,
You was in a hole so deep, I couldn't get myself out of it.
And
well,
that being said,
that little saying you said, if you don't have the time now to do it right, when are you going to have the time
to do it over?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, also this, I always repeat the saying, and one day I need to put in more effort to find out where it came from. I heard it from a gentleman named Chris Hayes. Chris, what's up, player? It said the opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in a lifetime of the opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I write this letter to athletes where I always tell them, like, hey, look, if you mess up, it's really okay. You know, I've messed up in life, but life has a way of offering you redemption and the opportunity to move forward. However, you're never going to get this chance to go back and live a life as a student athlete.
Yeah.
So this part of your life, cherish this. Hey, ain't that crazy to watch this? Do you understand? Like, okay, I live in the present, and I live with an understanding of what I'd like to accomplish and do in the future, the legacy I'd like to live. But come on, man, periodically I have thoughts in my head like, man, what if I had it? And what if I, and you know, I don't experience too much anguish, but it is the like, man, I didn't truly understand the blessing of that moment at that time. You know, and that being said, again, I think the beauty is you're still in a wonderful situation in life. You're still in an amazing situation. You've had a great experience. But there is the reality as you grow older and wiser of realizing if I had have truly valued that moment, if I had have truly. So that being said, I usually ask this at the end, but I just want to touch on it now too. So based on your experiences, what are the meaningful things that you would be telling another young person? What would either you share with young people about, hey, look, this is what you need to understand. So let's say you're about to leave the earth, and as I get older, I think about that as a lot. What are these legacies I would like to leave behind? What is the thing that if you had an ear of a young person and you know this is something crucial that would change your life as it relates to athletics, emotional intelligence, or understanding time as a precious commodity, what would you say?
I like that word, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I read a book, the first class I took in my master's, it was Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Go read it.
Yeah.
Read it.
Okay.
It's very, very, very good. It's by Bradbury and Greaves. I believe it's a very, very good book. But what I would say is just be aware of your time and don't worry about others people. Like, say, for example, if somebody else is doing this, don't worry about them. Worry about your time. Worry about your development. Worry about being the best you at all times. Just be mature. If I was mature, man, a lot of things would be different. Just that. And just take advantage of taking your time. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, you know, the gray shirt, you can gray shirt as many years as you want.
Yeah.
You can gray shirt for 5 years and then all of a sudden go play a year.
Yeah.
And then you got what, four to play three?
Yeah.
And shout out to Jalen Strong, man, who really finessed the system.
Shout out
to Jalen Strong.
You did it right.
Yeah.
He really finessed the system, man. Took that gray shirt year and did 1 year, balled out, and left Arizona State, man. Shout out to him, man.
Right.
Shout out to the GOAT right there. Yeah. Shout out to G and
okay. Hey, look, you know you special. You know you special when you just get to walk in at whenever you want, and there's a seat. G-Bo, how you feeling, baby? G, we on camera already, so you know you can wave at the people who might be observing.
What's going on?
Hey, we knew, so we left the seat for you, player. We left the seat, man. Hey, watch this. This was so crazy though. Y'all had probably, I'm going to use the word iconic, right? Year here. Because y'all were part of the same team, right? Did y'all play together? Yeah. Y'all had a team that left with scholarship money. If we looked at educational value of the years y'all left,
2011.
yeah, y'all might have been $1 million squad, huh?
For sure.
Yeah, that was a blessing. No, that was a blessing. You know?
Big schools too, a lot of big schools.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Hey, look, and the power and prestige of having degrees associated with that school. Sometimes me and him go places together, and you know, I'll say, look, I'm on the guest list, and then they'll be like, look at me, they'll be like, man, get up out of here, right? I'm like, no, for real, can you check my name? Here's my ID, man. They take my ID, throw it over their back, right? And then they'll step up, and then they'll see something that say USC. They'll be like, you went to USC? They'll be like, yeah. They'll be like, what's your name? They'll be like, oh man, y'all can come in. You're like, what is going on here? Hey, have y'all even seen each other since y'all left here?
I ain't seen
I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's a blessing, then, huh? That's a
8
blessing.
years, 7 years.
Yeah, that's real life, huh?
That's what's up.
Hey, look, hey, now this is the beauty, and I'm thankful to the universe, y'all, because You know, the interactions we have when y'all students here, you know, part of how I feel about myself. You know, everybody, well, you know, I'm, man, I don't give a, nobody feel about me.